Now here to give everybody what they want, it's Capes and co-hosts. Right, Jonah?
Anybody care about what I want? I do. Shut up. Get out.
Now back to Capes and co-hosts.
Savage. Get out of my office.
That's all he ever says. He's so mean to Peter.
He's the best.
Do you think that there was maybe a little bit of commentary in how Stan Lee was writing the Peter Parker story?
Oh, absolutely. I think there was an debate of almost everything he wrote.
No, I meant no. See, I didn't mean like social commentary. I meant like commentary about his own job.
Oh,
How
probably.
like
Hated the newspaper and the idea that's
no, not that part. How how Peter was the freelance
I get what you're
photographer.
saying. Okay.
And Jameson treated him like shit, even though he was the reason why they were making any money.
I get what you're saying.
Kind of like how Marvel had Jack
So much
Kirby and
freelance
him.
yeah.
You know, I think it was maybe a little bit of commentary there. Perhaps.
My favorite day was the day that I realized that Peter Parker is a spider, and his greatest enemy is a newspaper.
Yeah, it really
What?
is. It really it's really nuts. They're the ones that hate on him the most. I wonder why. What's the other newspaper that hates on their superheroes as much as they do? Nobody? the Daily Planet doesn't hate on Superman like
I mean,
that.
maybe Gotham's newspaper,
Yeah, maybe.
but not in the same way. Like none of them are ever played up like the Daily Bugle is.
I don't feel like anyone reads a newspaper in Gotham because it's never in like daylight. It's always dark.
It's Alaska that's just dark 6 months out of the year.
I'm like, dang, man, like it's ridiculous how Gotham is always pitch black. It's
Yeah, it is a little bit strange.
maybe that's just they want the tone of it. I mean, that's obviously what they want with it. So anyway, so what happened with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage? And
So Jessica Jones,
all this
the
Netflix.
episode titles leaked for all 13 episodes.
okay,
They don't really tell much,
right?
but they do tell that this is going to be a very adult show.
Okay, that's good. Do you think like adult in just violence, or do we think adult in...
Let me go ahead and go through this real quick.
All right.
So the first episode's called Ladies Night. Entry episode, no big deal. Nothing to see here.
Okay.
There's also Crush Syndrome, which is the next episode. Also nothing to see here. The third episode it's called Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So alcohol, but really nothing to see here. 99 Friends is the fourth. The Sandwich Saved Me is the fifth. AKA You're a Winner is the sixth.
Mm-hmm.
I should also say that all of these episodes start with AKA. I don't know why I included it on the last one, none of the other ones, but whatever.
Right.
Number 7 is the first one where you're like, oh, okay. Number 7 is called Top Shelf Perverts.
So yeah, they're these are like
Then-
adult themed.
And then WWJD, Sin Bin, and the 10th episode also was like,
Well,
okay.
What would WWJD?
Yeah.
You said? Okay.
I would assume it's what would
would
Jessica
Jessica
do,
do?
but maybe they are going with the religious aspect.
No.
Who knows?
I thought you said WWDD. I was like,
But
what
episode
would they
10 is
Yeah.
fun.
do? Yeah.
The Kumbaya Circle Jerk.
Dang. So maybe they'll drop the F word in this.
Maybe.
I hope so.
I've got the Blues as number 11. Number 12 is my most excited one because it's Jewel and the Power Man.
Okay.
Jewel is Jessica Jones' superhero name, and Power Man is Luke Cage's. So that's gonna be
awesome.
really cool. And then the last one is just Smile. So like, but the two that kind of stood out to me obviously were Top Shelf Perverts and the Kumbaya Circle Jerk.
Yeah, and then you said it was episode 6, and that's probably going to be a big moment in the
6 was You're a Winner. Top Shelf Perverts is 7.
All right, so yeah, probably a big moment in the series, just because like how they're doing them is going to be like the movie, a 13-hour movie.
Yeah, in a sense.
I mean, that's how Daredevil was, and it was, I mean, top notch, best
I loved
best superhero show adaptation, I think. But like, just well made. I
mean,
enjoyed
it
the Flash
might have
more.
even been the best superhero adaptation, like even including movies. Like I think it's great.
Yeah, no, it's definitely up there. Definitely up there. I mean, I might have enjoyed the Flash a little bit more, but not because of the acting or anything like that. It was, I don't know why. Maybe just some stupid part of me. Not because, I mean, it's not the rational part of me.
Hold on. I want to just point out something real quick. Ricky.
No, I know Daredevil's dark.
No. This is the thing, though.
Okay.
You hate on Marvel all the time
No, I do.
for being fun, campy, and you love on DC's nuts for being dark and gritty.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Marvel being dark and gritty and DC being fun and campy, you're like, oh, I like DC more. Like,
no, I didn't.
what?
I said that first off. I said it's my irrational side that likes the Flash more than
It's your irrational side that likes DC more, is what you mean to say.
no, that likes the Flash in this instance more than what do you call it? Daredevil. I just liked the Flash and the Reverse Flash game they were playing the entire season more than I liked Kingpin versus Daredevil. I love Daredevil. Like, the show is better in every way. The writing, the acting, the production, everything. It's so much better on Daredevil. I'm not saying that. I just liked the battle between Barry and Reverse Flash throughout the whole season. I thought that was really cool and really well done. But you're right. Like, no, God, I'd like Daredevil is better. Like, I'm not saying it's not. I know it is. But if I had to watch, like, I feel like if you take out a lot of the filler of the Flash, it could be as well of a show, as good of a show as Daredevil. If you take out all like the Freak of the Week stuff that didn't really have much to do with the main storyline, kind of like how Daredevil never had a single villain in one episode, I don't think he did that ever, right?
I'm trying to think. I mean, not like a name villain.
But you know what I'm saying?
Like episode 3 had the one bowling ball guy, but like
okay,
even
so,
he was tied to Kingpin, and he was just a little minor guy. He wasn't the villain.
Yeah, so there you go. And I mean, it just was a different type of show, and I loved it. Like, I loved Daredevil, but I just kind of like the Flash a little bit more, and I like Flash better as a character as well than I like Daredevil. So I might have a little bit of a bias.
Do you like Arrow more than Agent Carter?
I just don't care for Peggy that much. I mean, she's okay and all, but but Agent Carter, that show was well done, man. It was really cool. I liked certain parts of Arrow more than I like Agent Carter, but Agent Carter on the whole is better than Arrow, probably. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I think Arrow is better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. First 2 seasons of Arrow is better than the first 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
I agree with that.
But
even though I think that the last season of Arrow is nowhere near as good as any episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I agree with that.
That was such a bad season.
I feel like the last season of Arrow was a lot like the first 6 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Where it just felt like a slog.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I'm just getting through this and stuff. There's some cool things in it, but it's really not holding my attention. It's kind of like it wasn't until Grant jumped out of the plane. You're like, oh wow,
Grant's my favorite character in that show
by far.
He's the best.
My friend hates me for loving Grant.
He's the best,
dude. He's the best.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Even though he was such a bad panel at
you think so?
SuperCon,
dude, he was awesome.
He didn't answer a single question.
No,
he stood up there and he just was like, and he played to the whole Shield Hydra thing way too much.
He did, but he had fun up there, and
he was one of the most fun panels. That doesn't make him a good panel though.
Well, to me it does. To me, if I go see somebody, I want to have somebody that's fun, and he's not one of those pretty boy, I'm all about myself sort of thing. Well, he is. He
kind of is, but in a fun, playful way, not in a stuck-up asshole way.
Yeah, he's joking about it. He's joking about him being awesome, but he is awesome. He's really cool. I liked him, man. I'll give him a hero on my. I love him. He's definitely the best part of that show by far. Those 6 episodes we didn't have him in there. I was like, dang, man.
I need you, Cole.
Yeah, I miss him.
Whatever your name is.
Yeah, I miss Agent Ward, man. And at first I was like, who's this Joker? This guy's an idiot. And
he did kind of come off as bland in the first half of the season.
Yeah, and the first episode I was like, second to only Black Widow. Yeah, right. Who do you think you are? And no, he's pretty cool. They did a really good job with him. But that show is also I feel that shows are more like Arrow, where it's up and down, up and down, up and down, where it's certain episodes are really good and certain episodes aren't as good.
Agreed.
But this season is going to be awesome. I mean, they got Jenna back, right? Gemma, she's going to be back.
She's going to be back. I don't know what she's doing right now. She's chilling in a giant ball of weird things.
Yeah, whatever that thing was. Dang, that was so confusing at the end of that season. But it was really cool what they ended up doing, all the Inhuman stuff, and how what's her name's mom was a psychopath. That was awesome. So any Iron
So-
Cage news?
Iron Cage.
Iron Cage. Luke Cage. What am I thinking about? Who am I thinking about?
Iron Fist and Luke
Iron
Cage
Fist.
are like partners, so maybe you were thinking of their. I don't know. It's weird.
Is that what
Um,
that's what they were called? Probably.
No, they call themselves Heroes for Hire.
That's lame. Iron Cage is better.
Anyway, I don't know how to say her name. Alfre Woodard.
Okay.
You know who that is?
No.
Good, because I don't either. She was in 12 Years a Slave and Mississippi Grind. Mississippi Grind.
Is she black?
Yes.
Cool.
She's an Oscar nominee. I guess for 12 years. I don't know.
I mean,
She is
probably.
playing a character named Minetta, who is, and I quote, a powerful woman in local politics who will have an impact on Luke Cage's life. And people are...
What section of the city is this going to be taken in? Do we know?
I would assume Harlem. That's Luke Cage and Harlem like are tied at the waist. I know it's
Kind of racist.
it's kind of
I mean,
it's a stereotype, but it's where he grew up,
right.
and that's the
Of course.
that's the piece of the city that he feels the most attached to. So I would assume that's it.
They would rate him that way. It's like, where should he be? Harlem, obviously. Fucking
It was in the
Stan Lee and
'60s,
shit.
man. What do you want?
Yeah, I know. But it's just funny. And then Iron Fist probably gonna be from like Manhattan. Just the nicest part of freaking New York. But all right.
I mean, that is where he's located in the comics.
But in Spider-Man is too. Spider-Man's Manhattan.
Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, the most of his Spider-Manning is in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I think he lives in. I can't remember.
Brooklyn.
Maybe he lives in a
Who
rural
lives in
area.
Brooklyn? Does anyone live in Brooklyn?
I'm sure some do. I love how Doctor Strange lives in
Greenwich
Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
Because it's the most obvious place to put such a psychedelic character.
No, that is. That's the spot right there.
Yeah, no, they completely stereotyped every one of their characters. Oh, it's so great.
Wow. Yeah, they do that.
I think Falcon's from Harlem also.
That's so messed up, man. Oh wow. And let's see. Obviously Romanoff is from Russia. That's not a surprise. That's actually not racist. It's just a name. Let's see. No, nobody else. All the black people are from Harlem or like Compton or Watts or something. Detroit. They probably got a few from Detroit.
Detroit Steel was the actual superhero. And
There
he
you
was
go.
also black.
Yeah, there you go then. There you go. My friend asked me to name 10 African American superheroes.
Oh, I got it.
All right, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Black Lightning, Cyborg, Falcon, War Machine, Black Panther, Luke Cage,
6.
Michael B. Jordan's Johnny Storm.
Michael B. Jordan. Oh my god.
All right, I'm at 6. I need 4 more.
Mm-hmm.
Steel,
Steel.
Detroit Steel.
Teacher.
2 more. The Patriot.
Wait, isn't that?
He's a young Avenger. He is a black kid. I mean, it's the case. I mean,
No,
what do
just
you want
how
me to
you
tell you? In Static Shock.
I was like, he hadn't said stuff.
That's 10.
All
That's
right,
10.
that's 10. And John Stewart. You didn't say John Stewart.
I didn't say John Stewart. I completely forgot about John Stewart.
There you go.
That's
then.
because he is not my favorite Green Lantern. He is like my 5th favorite out of 5. Like, I hate him.
But if you ask most Americans, they're like,
They'll probably go John Stewart, yeah.
no. If you ask most Americans to name 5, it'd be tough for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I name people that I bet you've never even heard of.
2 of them. I never heard of them.
So, and one of them you heard of just a second before I started that list when I told you about Detroit Steel.
Exactly. So there you go. But we're going to go on break right now. So we come back. We're going to talk about the Avatar, Last Airbender, and Legend of Korra. I just finished it.
All right, we'll talk about it. Let's go.
Greatest thing ever, dude. Honestly.
What? Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. I already know what I'm going to play for it, too. I'm just going to play that long ago. Da-da-da-da.
You were such a cheese.
I am. It's my favorite.
fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
You are the cheesiest cheese in the cheesy world.
Dude, that, oh my God.
You're a mouse in a cheese factory right now.
All right, so first off, I am how many years late on this show?
A lot of years late on the show.
But I cannot explain how epic it is. First off, it's rated number 16 of all time on the IMDb top 250 shows. Really impressive for a show that's...
For an animated show.
Not only
No
that,
less.
not only an animated show, a show for 7 to 12-year-olds. So deep on so many different levels. Aang was a great hero. And at first you're just like, this kid, you know, but great hero. Katana. Oh, shut up. Oh my God, now I just got her name. Katara.
Katara, there you go.
Freaking
Oh
out.
my God. I was like, should I tell him? No, I'm going to let him wait for a little bit.
Katara, she was ridiculous. Obviously, Sokka was cool. Zuko was awesome. Azula, his sister, she was hilarious and a psychopath.
A bitch.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
Yeah.
Completely a bitch. But all the characters were done well. And Zuko's uncle.
Iroh is the best character in that show.
Yeah, Iroh. Is it, how you say it?
Iroh.
Yeah, he's so wise. So wise. Love it. But I can't believe I was this late on this show, and I can't believe none of you guys told me about it.
I don't know how to, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean,
no one told me about this show. You guys talk about all these things I need to watch constantly, and you never mention this.
I'll take the blame for it.
All right.
No, I won't. It's all James and Adrian's fault.
All right, so you watched the show. What did you what were your thoughts about it? Or
it's hard to just, what's the word? Exactly. That's the hard part, is to find the words for it. It was fantastic. Like, I mean, the entirety of that show is very, very good. Really, I mean, I can't think of anything that you haven't already said. The characters were all absolutely great. The one that you didn't mention was Toph, who was awesome.
So sweet.
But I mean, like, the entire dynamic of that show, and I really liked. Okay, I just made my.
Okay.
For those that can't see, I just made my chair lower accidentally, and like totally missed the mic. I don't care. Whatever. Anyway, the whole idea of like it's very much a Western show, but it's so influenced by not only Eastern culture but also like Eastern anime and that type of dynamic that they have in their shows. That it's a very interesting blend of completely opposite cultures.
Yeah, I think it's just like Japanese enough where it's kind of like the
It's
Pokemon.
more Chinese than anything.
You think?
I mean, the
I don't know, you tell me.
aesthetics and the Eastern quality of it is definitely more Chinese.
It's really Buddhist. Like the whole. Well, I mean, we're not even talking about the animation. I just went off that, but I feel like it's like a Pokemon animation type, where it's a lot like it. Doesn't look that much different to me. Do you agree with that, or
Like between that and Pokemon?
No. I'm saying like, yeah, those aren't that different of an animation type to me. I feel like obviously Avatar is a little more smoother because it's like 7-8 years.
I probably agree with you on
or
that.
10 years after. But I feel like how they do like the face really big or the eyes get really big when they're embarrassed or they say something stupid. I think that's
that's very an anime type of thing to do.
Of
and
course.
It's a very anime inspired show.
And everything is in I'm not sure if it's Mandarin or Japanese, whatever, but it's all done by American writers. It's all American writers. So they knew exactly what they liked in their anime and wanted to incorporate that, which is really cool. And also I love the Eastern culture part of it, the religious part of it, where they never talk about a god or anything like that. It's all spiritual. It's all about rebirth. And
I mean, it's a very Chinese influence show because there's a little Japanese influence, but almost everything, like the Earthbenders and I think the Firebenders as well, are very Chinese inspired
Okay.
in the sense. Obviously, the Water Tribe I think is a little more like Native
Inuit.
American Inuit
Inuit.
type of thing.
Mhm.
And then the Airbenders are also they're monks. They're basically very Chinese inspired as well.
Yeah,
So
I would get the Chinese.
the
from
whole
monks.
entirety of the thing is much more Chinese than it is Japanese.
Mhm.
But regardless, it's still an Asian culture that not a lot of Western shows have a lot of success translating.
Yeah.
There's normally like this disconnect. Like there was, I think it was called Shaolin Showdown or something like that. There was a Cartoon Network show, or maybe
Yeah.
it was Nickelodeon. I don't know. That was a while ago when I was growing up.
Right.
And they tried to do that, but they were like they had to have a cowboy on there because they didn't really understand how that they were making
didn't
this
work out the
work in
same
a
way.
sense.
Mhm.
Jackie Chan kind of did it. The Jackie Chan Adventures.
I heard that's actually a pretty good show.
I enjoyed it a lot when I was little. I really liked that show. But yeah, no, I think Avatar is easily the most successful blending of Western and Eastern influenced animated show into one little awesome package.
Oh yeah, and you just care for all the characters. I mean, that's just the writing is just perfect. I mean, like you said, Toph. I mean, all the like little side characters you get, like Jet and trying to think, what's it, Azula's friends. Like they're all dynamic and they all have multiple layers. There's not a person out there who's just one thing except the Fire Lord. He's the only one that's just pure evil. all the
Pure
time.
evil villain.
You know, but other than him, like, you know, Zuko in the very first season, he's struggling with good and bad.
Even
and,
he's an asshole, but he's not a pure evil, like maniacal villain. You can still see a really good interaction with his children, and when you get the Zuko focused episodes, it's still really interesting to me.
yeah. So I just started the second season. I mean, the first season of Korra, and I finished it. You've gotten through it. So, which one did you prefer? Things that you liked that you didn't like?
Between the two seasons or the two episodes or
Two
series?
shows? Yeah.
I like the first. I think the first season of Legend of Korra is my favorite season of the show. Period.
Okay.
Like both series. To be honest with you, I didn't like. Well, not that I didn't like, but I just wasn't as invested in the rest of Korra. Like I think it's probably just as good, if not better. But I just didn't. There was something about the mystique of the series that wore off on me by the second season.
Right.
And so, like 2 episodes in, I was kind of like, and I put it down, and I don't think I ever picked it back up. So the first season of Korra is still my favorite because the idea of the dynamic with an avatar who's mastered basically every element except for one was different than what we saw with Aang, which was a progressive journey. The rest of Korra, from what I understand, I haven't seen the whole thing, but the rest of Korra becomes a much more spiritual thing, more than because she's already mastered all the elements at that point.
Right.
So it's a much more spiritual show than Avatar was, which I think is what probably just
which is pretty
I'm not
telling though, because Avatar is really spiritual.
Mhm.
Aang's really spiritual. He's always like meditating and stuff like that, talking to Roku and whoever. So
Yeah, I think that's the reason I didn't like the show for Korra as much. I don't know, the spiritual aspects didn't interest me as much as the rest of the show did.
And do they get into? I mean, you saw a few snippets of Aang in the first season,
Of him being an adult.
which was really cool.
I want to see more of him as an adult.
So okay, so he dies really young. Does it? Don't tell me. Does it get into how he dies, or
I don't know. I haven't finished Korra,
right?
so I don't know if they do later. But
just-
yeah, he does definitely die somewhat young.
Yeah, I just wonder how like he fell off Appa. Or,
He's an airbender. How would he fall from a like?
All
Appa?
right.
All right.
But then they got like I heard. Oh no, I saw a screenshot of Zuko and I saw a screenshot of Toph from Korra. So they're in it.
The only two that are dead at that point from the original series are Sokka and
Aang. God, Sokka's awesome. And then, all right, so you watch Korra and you watch how there were a few different flying bison. How is that possible? Since Appa was the last.
they
bison.
are
Jurassic Park.
maybe they're asexual. They reproduce asexually. I don't know.
I mean, I'm watching. I'm like, wait, oh, there's Appa, and the guy's like names it something else. I'm like, that's weird. And then there's another one. I was like, okay, this is even more weird because they live forever.
Maybe Momo and Appa got
God, poor Momo. He was catching. Right? He wasn't pitching.
Maybe Appa's a girl. You don't know.
Appa might be a girl. You're right.
You never see their genitalia.
We don't know. So
Maybe it was like the
in
little dog that humps the big poodle.
in the chat when we were actually talking, I didn't bring it up, but we were talking about how Aang does die young, supposedly, but he's over 100 years old when the first season starts.
So technically, he doesn't die young.
Technically, he lives for a good 100 years.
Give or take 100 years of nice.
So maybe his organ, that's the science part. That makes sense to me. That makes perfect sense to me. That he
I just
wouldn't live a
realized he's
regular-
basically Captain America.
Basically, kinda, he is, except
Flies away
he's not as
from
pure.
a really bad situation,
He's not as pure
falls
as
into
Cap, though.
ice, wakes up like 90 years later.
And he only knew how to do one thing, was fight, and then he has to learn other things.
He knew other- he
I think
knew
we're still
other
a stretch,
things.
still a stretch.
That's a big stretch.
No, but yeah, he is kind of the Captain America. I might be him for Halloween this year. Shave my head, get a little arrow.
I was excited for a second because I thought you meant Captain America.
Yeah, right. My God, if I want to be, I'll be oppressed if I want to do anything with Captain America. That guy is nothing but he's the worst person on the planet.
You have such a bias against Captain America.
Can you blame me?
No,
He's Captain
I
America.
I absolutely can blame you. 100%.
I like Superman because he's a man of the world, man of the people. I know.
So
It's
is
Justice League of
Captain
America. Blah blah blah.
So is
Superman-
Captain America.
Superman doesn't bring 14-year-old boys into war. Just Batman. Batman does it.
But you like Batman, so why not?
Well, I told you what I feel about Batman. I feel he's a very irresponsible person that should spend his money on getting rid of the corruption in Gotham instead of getting in a little suit and beating people up for fun because he's a psychopath. I like Batman, but his motives are wrong. So anyway, all right. So I heard they were going to make one more series of Avatar.
I did not hear that. So you're in more in the know than I am on that one.
Maybe not. All right. So then forget that.
That would be cool though.
I had a friend who's in martial arts, or have a friend who's in martial arts, and we were just discussing this. And he said
We
that
should talk about The Last Airbender.
we are. Last Airbender.
Oh, the movie?
No.
No, that's what I'm talking
But
about.
we will. For the last minute, you can talk about how garbage it is.
God, it's so
But
garbage.
He was telling me that all the different styles of like the earth, water, air, and everything,
They're all
are real
different.
martial arts.
Yep.
He said that water is more like Tai Chi,
Mhm.
and fire and earth are real like broody styles, and air is a more defensive style. It's just really cool how he told me about that because I didn't even think about it. And he's really into all these martial arts. He does a lot of things. So he's black belt in jiu-jitsu, like he knows what's up.
I'm pretty sure jiu-jitsu was the basis for fire, if I remember correctly.
It's a really cool concept. I
Yeah,
love
like
that.
they did base each of the fighting styles off of actual martial arts, and they do actually use actual martial arts moves in their bending.
And that's great for 7-year-olds, like for them to have that kind of detail for a show for 7-year-olds.
It's not like Dragon Ball Z where it's just like punch him in the face, punch him in the face, punch him in the
Exactly.
face. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
So the two best live action movies ever, Dragon Ball Z and Last Airbender. So what do you think about Last Airbender, the movie? I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to.
You need to, but don't go into it thinking it's good. Just go into it thinking it's about to shit on your last week, not your childhood, but
Yeah, my last week.
it's going to shit on my last week, man.
It's gonna be horrible.
All over it because it's just so bad.
Give me a year and an Avatar will be a part of my childhood. Like, you're going to ruin my childhood.
They
I never even watched it.
They hired like either bad actors or like martial artists that couldn't act. Like it was just bad the whole way around. Nothing good about it. Don't watch that. I know you watch it, but
I'm
no
gonna
one else
watch
watch it.
I watched the first 5 minutes of it like a year ago, and I was like, this actually isn't bad. And then it falls off a cliff. So when are the other two coming out? No? Nothing?
We'll see you guys
Silence.
next week.
Bye.
See you.
Yeah, that's like they're not going to make the other two, though.
We're still on the